Good morning, students. Today we will move on to a lesson, that is the summit within. That is the fifth lesson. It is an experience written by Major H.P.S. Ahluwalia, who was a member of the first successful Indian expedition to Mount Everest in 1965. So this is a experience. This is an experience of Mr. Major H.P. Ahluwalia of his expedition of Mount Everest. How did he feel when he stood in the highest point in the world? So this is a feeling when he stood on the highest point of the world. Let us hear the story in his words, climbing the summit and then the more difficult task of climbing the summit with it. Here, so he is telling that climbing the Mount Everest is very difficult. It is so more difficult is that climbing the summit within, that is within us. So today I won't be taking the full lesson. I'll be just summarizing the lesson. So you have to pay more attention to the video, not on the textbook. So we'll continue. Major Ahluwalia was a member of the first team conquering Mount Everest in 1965. So he was a he was a member of the team who had conquered the Mount Everest in 1965. In this extract, he tells about his feelings standing on the highest peak of the world. So he is writing his experience, what he experienced when he stood on the highest peak of the world. His first feeling was humanity. Humanity means humbleness. He thanked God because the expeditions had ended successfully. He had both happy and sad. So here he is telling that he felt both happy and sad. He felt sad because he felt happy because he had reached the summit, and after that there would be nothing higher to climb. So he felt very happy because he had conquered Mount Everest. So it is the highest point. More higher is no place more higher and higher is there. So he felt very happy. Climbing Mount Everest gives a deep sense of joy which lasts for a lifetime. So he is telling that climbing Mount Everest gives a happiness that lasts for a lifetime. So all life will remember about that. The experience changes one completely. So it changes a person completely. It was a conquest of a highest mountain, but the writer felt that climbing or getting down the summit of the mind was no less difficult. So writer is telling climbing Mount Everest is very difficult. But more than that, climbing the summit, that is the highest point in our life, is more difficult than climbing Mount Everest. While climbing down from the top, he asked himself why he had chosen to climb. This achievement became a thing of the past. It would fade with the passing of time. He questioned himself as to why people wish to climb Mount Everest. So he was asking himself, why I am climbing this Mount Everest? So he thinks that all the people who climb the Mount Everest ask the same question, and this question fades off with time. The simplest answer is that it is difficult task. Why always people climb Mount Everest? Because it is a very difficult task. And man feels great in overcoming difficulties. So here it is a human character that man feels very happy when he conquers some difficult task. Climbing a mountain is a tough task because it tests one's physical strength and willpower. So here writer is telling that climbing Mount Everest is very difficult because it tests our physical strength as well as our willpower. The writer then proceeds to answer the personal questions. Mountains had an attraction for him since his childhood. So he is telling that why he climbed Mount Everest is that since childhood he wanted to climb mountains. He missed them while he was away from them. The beauty and grandeur presented a challenge. So he was always attracted by the beauty and the height of the mountains. Above all, mountains are away very close to God. So he is telling that this is the highest point and it is close to God. But why Everest? Choose it because it was the highest and most challenging task. So he is asking why Mount Everest? Because it was the most challenging and highest task. It was a hard struggle with rock and ice. So here Mount Everest is covered with rocks as well as ice. When he stood on the summit, he felt the joy of having done something great, of achieving great victory. So when he climbed at the top, when he reached the summit, he felt a joy. Joy means happiness about conquering the difficult task, something great. He thought that he had done something great. The call of the Everest draws to him. So always he wanted to climb Mount Everest. It is difficult to tell the reason for climbing. It is answering why one breathes or why should you go do good acts. So asking a person, a climbing person, why you want to climb? It is like a habit. Because as we breathe, they want to climb the Mount Everest. Then the success is followed by a sense of fulfillment or satisfaction. So when we climb the Mount Everest, when we reach the summit, it feels a satisfaction, a sense of satisfaction. It is a proof of man's love for adventure. So those who love adventure always like to climb Mount Everest. They want to do something new. The experience is not just physical but spiritual. So here the writer is telling this gives an experience not about physical strength but also spiritual. Spiritual means becoming close to God. You make all your effort to go up. Breathing is difficult. There are moments when you feel like going back. So here the author is telling when we climb up and up, breathing becomes very difficult. You know that the air is very thin and it becomes very difficult to breathe. And you feel like, oh, it is enough, we'll go back, we'll stop it, we'll drop it and we'll go back. But something in your cheeks you from giving up. So, but something holds you back. When you reach the top, you tell yourself that this was a rewarding effort. So, after all these difficulties, when you reach on the summit, you feel that as a what? You have done something great. Below you see vast valleys. You bow down to God for your worship. When you reach the topmost position, that is summit, and below you can see valleys, that is areas, and you feel that this is a place where God is there. And the writer left a picture of Guru Nanak. So this person is a Sikh person. So he left there a Guru Nanak's picture. Guru Nanak is the god of Sikhs. And his companion Rawat left a picture of goddess Durga on Everest. So his companion, his friend, his name is Rawat. He left there a picture of Durga. And Purduri left a relic of Buddha. So another person, he left a picture of Buddha. And Edmund Hillary, the first person who conquered Everest, buried a cross under the rock in the snow. So he buried a cross under the snow. There are symbols of respect of God. So author is telling that these all shows the respect to God. There are another summits to climb. It is within yourself. The author is telling that this is the topmost position, but there are many other summits to climb. That is within yourself. Our own mind. The most difficult task is to know oneself. So author is telling that the most difficult task is to know oneself. One has to do it alone and himself. The author is telling that so to know ourselves, one has to do it alone and by himself. The writer experience as an Everester inspired him to face his life boldly. So this climbing of Mount Everest has helped him to face the life boldly. So this is a summary of the lesson. Hope you have understood the summary. With this, our class is over. This lesson is over. Next, we will have a video of a grammar portion, that is model auxiliaries. So, till then, goodbye. Take care.